Hello, America. Hello, world. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Red Brick people. Usher in the new year. Um, it's 1:18 a.m. Um, Saturday, January 1st, 2022. Well, what time is it really? You know, what year is it really? Well, anyway, last year this cat ended the year with having a video about end of Market Street, but he didn't talk about things I talk about the end of Market Street. He wanted to talk about resets coming, signs, and so forth. Sign everywhere, sign. Well, here's again more signs, and we'll walk down the end of Market Street again. But before we do, know that the San Francisco earthquake, after you know a little bit more about what's going on, then you know what went down. It was an explosion. It wasn't an earthquake. That's the narrative I'm going to give you, and the aftermath proves that as well. So, anyways, let me read this real quick. The terrifying rumble of the earthquake shattered the early morning silence of the April 18th at 5:15 a.m. Stop. Okay. There. We got April 18th. Okay. We got 8 and 1 is 9, so that's 9. You got 10 and 11, so there's your 9/11. See there? But I'm not into that. But a lot of people will play that, try to get that in the game too, to disillusion you with numbers. But they put numbers out here for a reason, okay? And that's the fact. I don't know all the skinny about what they do that for, but they do. So you could read this whole thing. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. A lot of people will say, you know, they'll say 8 and 1 is 9, so that's your 9, and 5 is 10 plus 1, that's 11. There's your 9/11. See, I'm not going for that. I'm sure there's some stuff to numbers like that, but a lot of that stuff is just to get you on another goose chase, if you will. But my point is this of this earthquake at the end of Market Street. Now, before we get to the end of Market Street, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you see. There's earthquake evidence there, right? More earthquake evidence. But here, I'm going to give you this here, right here. This is 1896. Okay? This is 1896, what I'm going to read you from right here. Okay? Now, mind you, at the end of Market Street, a sign says 896. Okay? 896. So, food for thought. Okay? So, here, the annual report, and let's read this. This is the Indian Land Cessions in the United States. Among the various problems forced on the European nations by the discovery of America was that of determining their respective rights in regard to the territory of the newly discovered continent. The fact that the country was inhabited by and in possession of native population does not appear to have been taken into consideration in the solution of this problem. Each of the great nations of Europe was eager to appropriate to itself so much of the new continent as it could acquire. Its extent afforded an ample field for the ambition and enterprise of all, and the character, low culture status, and religious beliefs of the aborigines afforded an apology for considering them a people over whom the superior genius of Europe might rightfully claim an ascendancy. The sovereigns of the Old World therefore found no difficulty in convincing themselves that they made ample compensation to the natives by bestowing on them benefits of civilization and Christianity in exchange for control over them and their country. However, However, as they were all in pursuit of the same object, it became necessary, in order to avoid conflicting settlements and conquests, war with one another, to establish a principle which all would acknowledge as a law, by which the right, as between themselves, to the acquisition of a territory on this continent should be determined. This principle was the discovery of the land gave therein to the government by whose subjects or by whose authority such discovery was made against all other European or civilized governments, which title might be consummated by possession. This is clearly shown not only by the express declarations officially made in behalf of different powers, but also by the wording of the various grants and character and charters allowed by them. However, see, you getting it, folks? And turn to the next page. Well, we want to, get back to the other page. Just let me get to that one page, that's it. J.W. Powell, see, 819 to 97. He was the director, and here he is at the end of Market Street. There's what I wanted to get to. So there he is at the end of Market Street. We just read that there. Annual report, J.W. Powell at the end of Market Street. And here he is. We just play this for you. Just to the end of Market Street for educational purposes, to show people that what we're talking about is what time is it. And look, we can stop it for a minute for educational purposes too. Before you get here, look at this, the dome over this, and look at these huge pillars. Look at these huge pillars on this huge building. Okay, and look, this is all laid down. Okay, and no, just on the other side of this dome, this is some type of helping with the energy. It's like capacitor with the horseshoe magnet technology with like dynamos or something, harnessing electricity from the sky. They used a lot of mercury. They talked about mercury fountains were for decoration. But that's some horse shit. They knew how to tie buildings together in loops of positive and negative. They knew about all kinds of things that we're starting to understand in the red brick community, just by having some common sense about electricity and capacitors and computers and technology. We see how these buildings really performed, and we're starting to see how why. Well, not starting to see, we know the energy vampers are behind hiding most of what we know today from us and giving us googly gop education. So let's go to the end of Market Street and see John Wesley Powell waving his beard. The guy who blew this place up because it wasn't no earthquake. There he is. See him? John Wesley Powell. Bada bing, bada boom. 896 up on the wall. 896. Not 1896. Okay, John Levy did this video extensively about this and shows you in all kinds of angles. It says AD 896. Okay. So even if it was 1896, let's just say it was 86 or whatever, 1896 with the year that we say it was over here. When we was reading about the cat. Let's see, annual report right here, 1896, right? So we're down 1896, and that's what I believe it says here, 1896. Well, either way, the point is that, it's pretty powerful that you just see that here in the annual report of him, and you get an understanding of what was going on in this America. Getting rid of people who lived in these glorious buildings. See how pretty that was at the end of the street there, folks? Huh? Don't we have to back it up? See how big that building was? Look. And 4 days later it'll be wrecked. 4 days later it'll be wrecked, folks. Read all about it. It would be wrecked 4 days later. And read all about it. John Wesley Powell at the end of Market Street. There. Second video I produced showing you that John Wesley Powell, who worked for the Smithsonian and this government, was blowing stuff up, and it wasn't an earthquake. That's what my opinion is, based on all the evidence and the situation at hand of why they were taking over these red brick buildings. Power, energy, greed. Another red brick moment. Red bricks in your face. What time is it? It's time to love your neighbor like you love yourself. Stop putting white lines in the sky. Try to be a human being for once in time. Love your neighbor like you love yourself. Those who want to hide the truth, red bricks in your face. Black Mirror Walker. Chief Joseph Domain. Peace.